Indian administrative services are one of the most prestigious, and also because it is public service. But in the latest, what has happened is that one of the Indian administrative services officer, Pooja Khedkar, we are told, her image is on the screen. There are a lot of murky details, disturbing details around her that are surfacing. Her and family's lavish assets, which are not generational wealth and appears to have come after her position. 110 acres of agriculture land. Family owns about 900 grams of gold and diamonds. She herself owns properties worth 17 crore rupees. How has she managed to be able to get all these assets and properties? And that is why a lot of questions are being asked around her. You're looking at the visuals of an Audi vehicle, luxury vehicle, which has, for some reason, a siren on top. Is she authorized for that? Pooja's father cited 48 lakh rupees annual income. And when the dots were put together, it is very clear that from the direct salaries or the work being done, so much assets are not possible. Omkar Vable is joining me for the latest on that. Omkar, you tell me, it's one IAS officer. How has she suddenly become so controversial that one by one a lot of issues are surfacing? And is the government or those in higher authority taking any cognizance of this?
Exactly. Actually, her father was also an IAS officer. So when he filed his affidavit, when he was contesting election from the Ahmednagar South Lok Sabha constituency, so his affidavit reflects that the total valuation of his property worth 40 crores. So that is why the questions are being raised. How can she appear in the UPSC examination under the other backward class, I mean the OBC class, in a non-criminal category? That is why the question is being raised again and again. Secondly, she had appeared and she passed UPSC examination under the PWBD section 5, so which includes the multiple disabilities which provided by the UPSC, which is reserved quota person who has multiple disabilities. There are some different sections like which goes from 1 to 5. Pooja Khedkar, who filled a form under the PWBD 5. So she had multiple disabilities. Even after that, she wasn't present in the AIIMS for her medical test. She was not ready to give medical test. She gave several reasons. She gave several excuses to that, and she wasn't present at that time. So there are two big questions are raising now. But the biggest news is Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy of Administrative Careers has already initiated actions against in this whole case now. They will investigate. They already asked Pooja Khedkar to submit her reply to the academy, just because she is a probationary officer, so she is not a full-time employee of Maharashtra government. That is why the Administrative Career Institute, which is situated in Delhi, has already approached Pooja Khedkar. They mailed her and they asked her reply in this whole matter. They'll cross-verify her OBC certificate, and in what consideration UPSC has considered her MRI certificate, which was provided from the private hospital. So we have to see, because Pooja Khedkar's version is yet to be disclosed. So now I'm going to Pooja Khedkar's place. We'll have to check whether she is here or she has went to the Washim, where recently she has been posted over there.
Okay, so this is, one by one there are these murky details coming in, and this IAS officer has definitely led to a lot of questions being asked. A service that is for public, for their welfare and for the improvement of the country, not about IAS officers specifically. So here's what has happened. Some of the aspects that we've been able to confirm and verify that are developing. 110 acres of agricultural land. This is a huge amount. Is this generational wealth? Does she come from a certain farmer's family? No confirmation on that. 6 shops, 7 apartments. For someone who gets an IAS salary, is that really possible from at least the direct salary that she is provided with? Apart from that, jewelry that has surfaced, 900 grams gold and diamonds in her access. The gold watch there is with her is worth about 17 lakh rupees. Can a middle class or even an upper middle class family or an official even manage that? 4 luxury cars, including an Audi vehicle. A partnership in 2 private companies, if not directly in her name, those associated immediately and in direct family. But she herself owns properties worth 17 crore rupees. How is that possible? Because going by the salary that has been confirmed of her and her father, can so much wealth really be amassed by the family? Because according to Pooja's father, we are told that in the public domain, in official domain, 48 lakh rupees is the annual income. So the dots really not connecting together in this case. Father's election affidavit, he's contested, he's been a Neta, shows about 40 crore rupees of wealth. Pooja and the father officially own about 60 crore rupees in assets together. And that's why a lot of questions are being raised about where is this happening, how is this unfolding, and with charges. These are allegations, remember, I reiterate here, these are allegations again right now coming in of corruption against this officer. It's a trainee IAS officer, Pooja Khedkar, posted in Pune, transferred for alleged misuse of power. But why has Pooja Khedkar's name become such a talking point? It's because of this. Look closely. A private Audi vehicle with a red siren on top, which is for the VVIPs. And these are details coming in of different one by one as issues are surfacing. The vehicle, a personal vehicle, remember, has a VIP number plate. It says Maharashtra government, however, this is not allowed. There has to be an official car that you're given on which possibly at best you can use a red siren. That also is not permitted anymore. The officer requested for an official car, accommodation, cabin, a private cabin to herself, not necessary at this designation, and even additional staff. The trainee officer, here's why it gets more murky. The trainee officer cited that she has some disabilities, which means there will be some reservations, some concessions in the UPSC selection. She claimed that she was from the OBC non-creamy status. Non-creamy means from the underprivileged group. How can someone with so much wealth come from the non-creamy layer? It was found that her father's wealth is about 40 crore rupees worth. There are questions then over her claims that she was visually impaired, that's the sort of disability that she had some other issues concerning for the psychological references. But because of this, there are tests done. There are medical tests that are done by experts to confirm that that disability card can stand. But she failed to appear repeatedly before All India Institute of Medical Sciences for a proof test about 6 times that she could not come, and procured an external medical certificate. Why external? If there is a proper protocol and procedure within the services. And then India Today accessed WhatsApp texts that Pooja Khedkar allegedly sent to the deputy collector requesting special privileges, saying that she would speak to the collector herself if needed. From where is the confidence coming from? And then thinking, remember, there are reservations for a reason. There are disability concessions for a reason. Was someone using it and misusing it for their personal benefit?
आमतौर पर जो ऑफिसर होते हैं, आईएएस ऑफिसर वगैरह, उनको होम टाउन पेंशन के वक्त मिलता है, आखिरी अपने कार्यकाल के आखिरी में मिलता है, लेकिन इनको प्रोबेशन में ही होम टाउन मिल गया। और उसके बाद आने के बाद उन्होंने जो नाटक शुरू किया, मुझे ये चाहिए, मुझे ऑडी चाहिए, मुझे रेड बीकन चाहिए वगैरह वगैरह, तो इसकी वजह से उनके इस बर्ताव की वजह से ये सब हमारी नजर गई और ये सारे डॉक्यूमेंट सामने आ गए।
So again, look closely. A non-creamy layer status with regard to how the OBC reservations have been in the IAS. But she has a personal Audi vehicle. It's a luxury vehicle. A middle class, sometimes even an upper middle class, cannot even afford an Audi vehicle. And then there was a red siren on top, which is also not allowed. Apart from that, there are other documents that have surfaced where it is mentioned that she's from a certain underprivileged group and therefore is deserving of the reservations that are there, of the concessions. And not just that, that there is also a disability that she has for which there should be additional concessions. Multiple disabilities is which she had signed. Now, obviously, if you have a certain disability, there is a test that is done. There are experts who confirm that there is a disability and you're deserving as a candidate. You are intelligent, you want to serve the public, and you can come into the IAS. But all of this appears to be becoming not worth standing at that point, not as proof when it was to be confirmed. So these are some of the details that are coming in. I want to bring in India Today's Omkar Vable for the latest to help us understand. Omkar, let's be very clear, because these are charges and allegations, a lot of questions that they'll have to answer. How did this surface? I mean, I want to understand what is then being done, because it may reflect on others as well, and in no way we are going to put down the IAS services, because they are the benchmark, they are the backbone of this country. So you tell us what is happening in this case.
So basically, it started from her Audi case. So what happened is she used to come with her private car, which was gifted by her father, who's ex-IS officer. She was located here in Pune itself. After getting Maharashtra cadre, she got a hometown. She got posting here. She was at the beginning she was in a Bhandara, but she was just there for 2 months. Some like behind the curtains, there were some calls happened from her father. Her father called some people. Then she shifted back to Pune. She came to the hometown at the beginning of her service. Then everything started. She used to come to the collectorate office with her own Audi card, with the Maharashtra Shasan board, government of Maharashtra board, with the red amber lamp and everything. So interestingly, after that, she took charge of the additional commissioners antechambers, additional collectors antechamber, and then actual battle started. Then it came into the public domain. Then collector took action against her. He submitted final report to the Chief Secretary of Maharashtra, and finally she got transferred to the Washim. Now she'll handle Assistant Collector of the Washim. But interestingly, her behavioral pattern was the main issue, and that is why the action was taken against her. So after that, one by one,
what you're saying is important, and I want to reiterate what he has said, that there was a certain pattern of demanding privileges, of stating that I deserve concessions, but every time there was a proof test to be done on that, when the details emerged, it did not exactly stand. Omkar, please stay on with me, because here, what are the details? Remember, every candidate, an aspirant, some of them try for years. You have to clear an examination. Now, what we are told is that she did clear the IAS, or basically the UPSC examination, on the OBC non-creamy layer quota. So there are definitely certain reservations that we have because of how the societal issues were. But it's for underprivileged, deserving candidates who truly are not able to find other opportunities, and that's why that reservation had come in. But the non-creamy OBC quota here had a parental income about 8 lakh. That's what it's supposed to be, to show that these are underprivileged groups. But the father, who's been a Neta, his election affidavit showed 40 crore rupees wealth and assets. The Neta father, however, cited 48 lakh rupees annual income. Does it come then under specifically that concession that was asked for? But it didn't end there. After clearing the IAS and once the deployment comes in, Pooja Khedkar's father, we are told, also fought Lok Sabha elections on the VVA ticket. This is earlier. Now, he retired as a senior Maharashtra government official. But when she got into the administrative services, she started to demand special privileges. She's a young officer. Already special privileges like a private cabin, a certain big red beacon car on light on her private Audi vehicle. And that's when the pattern started to raise questions of why she's demanding so many privileges. There are certain assigned privileges, so to say, with every officer. That is where I bring in Omkar Bable here. Omkar, can we say that even within the cadre, within the services, this has led to a lot of talking points? Because it may raise a question if this is more common than we would like to believe.
Actually, even senior officers were shocked when she started demanding this kind of privileges even before joining her services. So India Today has already exposed her WhatsApp chats with the collector and an additional collector when she was chatting with them, and she was demanding extra privileges, like she wanted her different antechamber with attached internal washroom and everything. Even she wanted her waiting room so other officers could wait and meet her. So before taking a charge, even on the probation, she was demanding these things from the collector. So that is why even Suhas Divse was very shocked. He was going through all the process. He was taking guidance from the senior officers from Mantralaya, and that is why it ended up like they had to take action against her. But interestingly, she started behaving like that before taking the charge,
Omkar,
even on being probation.
Just for clarity for the viewer watching right now, that the demands that she was making, that she deserves a certain cabin, she wanted some privileges, that these are not common. That probation officers don't get so many privileges, because was this uncommon demand that she was putting forth?
No, basically, whenever you get posted, you can accommodation, basic accommodation, or the office,
Yes.
or maybe a workspace area. IS level officer, rank 1 officer get their own post, and they can demand like this. But being on a probation, you cannot do like this. Being on a probation, there are some limitations on these things. But before joining, before taking a charge, she wasn't even officially communicating with those officers. She was WhatsApping on them on the mobile. That was the main concern. Secondly, when additional collector, a senior IS officer, he went to Mantralaya and he had an external charge of another department.
Yes.
He was there for almost 45 days. She took his office, she took his office, we can say a different kind of encroachment over there, and she shifted her own antechamber to the same office. When that officer came back to the Pune collectorate, he got to know that someone took his own antechamber. He complained to the collector, and then everything disclosed and everything came out. Then he was upset on the everything. He wrote letter to the collector, and then collector told her
well
to
done, Omkar, well done for the
empty that
expose
office
that you
and,
have done,
take
and you're
a different,
constantly updating
office.
us. Because here's what IAS officers need to know, that they're in public service. They deserve certain, whether it's so-called privileges, but certain help so that they can continue with their work. That is all right. But if more privileges are expected because they're IAS, perhaps they need to be reminded why they joined the administrative services, and that is for public welfare, not their personal welfare.